So what brings you in this afternoon?
Well, I was just having problems today. I'm really sad. I'm feeling really sad and down.
So can you describe what sad and down means to you?
Well, just sort of kind of not really just in my best mood. Like usually I'm normally happy, I'm in good spirits and stuff like that, but I just really haven't been myself lately.
Yourself. So is there anything specific that made you feel sad and down today?
Well, a week ago, I ended up going to church with my mom and my dog. I just got a new dog, and he was outside playing in the yard and stuff like that. And she gets really hyper before church and stuff like that, or just anytime we finna go anywhere. So she sort of kind of just runs around the yard, and it makes it hard for us to like catch her. So she did that or whatnot, and we were about to be late for church. So my mom was like, just get in the car, like we finna go. Like, she wants to play games and stuff like that, so we're finna go. So I come back home and I couldn't find Bella anywhere, and I just sort of kind of just started losing my mind afterwards because it's like I don't know where she is, and it's just sort of kind of been bothering me.
So the loss of your dog has made you feel sad and down today.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about Bella?
Well, I got Bella. I want to say 3 months ago. I got Bella 3 months ago. She's little, she's tiny, and she's very playful. Like I love her to death. But my mom brought her home, and it was a dog that I've been wanting for a long time, and so she just sort of kind of surprised me with it. So I mean, I was just really happy when she brought Bella home and stuff. So Bella's very playful and stuff like that, and I did notice that like she hates to be put up. So every time we're trying to put her up, or just like we're gonna leave the house, like she does something to either run away or like get lost and stuff like that because she's so little. So she literally hides from us. So it's always a hard time, trying to put her up and trying to get to one places on time really because I mean she makes it hard. So it was just that one time we left her at the house and I just sort of kind of was like, I guess that one time was the wrong time. Like, I mean, I didn't expect anything to happen to her. I thought, she was going to be in the yard and stuff like that because she never went far. I mean, even when she does play in the yard, she really just stays in her little space. So, I mean, I just didn't think. And I'm just really worried that somebody may have picked her up and stole her.
Yeah, I noticed that when you were talking about Bella, you smiled quite a bit, so she must mean a lot to you.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. She brings me a lot of joy, so, yeah.
So do you think that not having her around has taken your joy?
Yes, it has taken my joy. Not having her around and just not having her, just knowing where she really is. Like, I really just don't know where she is. If she's safe, like, if anything happened to her, like, if she's even gonna ever come back. Like, I just never had this situation happen before, so it's just like, I'm just experiencing all type of emotions right now.
So you're
But they're not.
extremely worried.
Yes, I'm very extremely worried. I really don't know what to expect, and I don't know what to do, and it's just like, I mean, all people do is suggest, you put up posters and stuff like that. You go walking around the neighborhood. I literally went from door to door asking have they seen a little black dog, literally every single house. So it's just like, I've been putting a lot of time in looking for her. I put up posters all throughout the yard, all throughout the neighborhood, and I also, put a reward, a found. But no one seems to know what happened to her, and I just find that weird, you know.
Mm-hmm. If Bella didn't come back, how would that affect you?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No, but I know it wouldn't affect me good. It will affect me in a very, very bad way. Like, I might lose my mind. Because, I mean, it's really my best friend. I've grown an attachment to her that quick, and it's just like, I love her. She's just like something that I've always wanted, and I mean, she completes me. So I mean, just the thought of somebody probably taking her or her actually never coming back home, it just sort of kind of scares me.
It scares you. And you talk about losing your mind. What would that look like?
Losing my mind, just sort of kind of just going into a deep depression or just not being myself, just sort of kind of like isolated from family and friends. Because I mean, that's what I do when I get sad. I just sort of kind of like isolate myself. And so I feel like I isolate myself, and I just feel like there's just nothing good gonna come about if I can't find her.
And how are your family and friends? Have they supported you?
Yeah, I mean, my mom, she's sort of kind of, I mean, she's not a big fan of a dog. I know it sounds weird because, I mean, she brought it home, but I mean, she hasn't been as emotionally distraught as I have. But I mean, I can understand that because, I mean, that's my dog. It's not really hers. But I mean, she's been supportive. She's been helping me find her. But it's like she's also saying, you know, can't find her. I'll get you another dog. And it's like, I don't want another dog. I want my Bella. Like, she's mine. And I mean, I don't feel like anybody else should have her.
Right. And so you talk about how your mom doesn't really like animals, but she brought this dog home for you.
Right. And she did that because I've been begging her, and I've been begging her for the longest. I mean, we've had dogs in the past, but I mean, they've always been outside dogs. And I mean, I've never been this close to a dog. Like, I want to say we've had 2 dogs prior to Bella, and one of them we probably kept her a little bit under a year. She was in the backyard. She wasn't, I mean, I loved the dog, but I mean, at the same time, it's just like I didn't feel how I feel about Bella.
You feel emotionally connected.
Yes, and I feel like she was made for me. For me to be her owner, she to be my dog.
So you seem to have a very strong connection, and you feel very sad that she's not with you.
Right.
And you're also worried that she might be with someone else and that she might not come home.
Right.
So can we focus a little bit more on the sadness? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I mean, it's just sort of kind of like, I just feel sad. I just feel like sort of kind of empty without her.
Empty.
I just feel empty, and I just sort of kind of feel angry, and I feel sad. I feel really all of those emotions and stuff like that, because it's like I really don't know if somebody has taken her. I don't know if, you know, she ran away, if she's going to come back. It's just like not knowing really is what's getting to me, just not knowing. Like, I mean, I'm still hopeful about the situation. I feel like, you know, she is going to return back home, but I just don't know when. And just, I guess, just not knowing just really bothers me and just really affects me and just takes me to another place and makes me really sad and down.
You talk about anger. You mentioned anger. So what exactly are you angry about?
I'm angry because I don't know exactly where she is, and I'm sort of kind of angry at myself too, because I feel like, you know, if I wouldn't have gotten a car, then I would know where she was. But instead, you know, doing what my mom told me to do. I got in a car, we were headed to church, and I left her there, and I just feel like, you know, it's my fault. It's my fault why she's gone, because if I wouldn't have left her, then she would still be there. And I haven't had her that long, so I just don't know, you know, what could have happened to her. And it's just like my neighbors, they're very communicative, like they're very friendly. And I mean, I went to them, a few of them were outside when we left. I mean, none of them can recall what happened or, you know, remember seeing her or anything. So I just find that weird, you know, so I just feel like maybe something else is going on.
So I'm sensing that you're upset, you're very frustrated and angry because you feel like if you hadn't have left, Bella still might be home.
Yes.
But you're also sad with the situation that, you know, she may not come home, and those are conflicting with each other.
Yes.
And you're also worried that, you know, maybe your neighbors know a little bit more than they're letting on.
Right.
During this whole situation. But a lot of them seem to be trustworthy people and they're nice people.
Yeah, I mean, from in the past, I mean, but I mean, who's to say? I mean, it's a little cute dog. Anybody could have picked her up and took her. I mean, I just feel like ain't nobody see what happened to her, or nobody has seen a dog, so I just feel like, you know, nobody has seen her, nobody's seen her walking around. I know that she couldn't really make it that far on her own, so I just, you know, assume that somebody probably picked her up, and I feel like that's where a lot of my fear and sadness is coming from, because it's like I just sort of kind of feel hopeless at this point. I'm starting to, even though I'm still, you know, I'm still hopeful about the situation, I'm also losing hope as well.
And you feel betrayed.
Yeah.
Because you said earlier that, you know, you felt like you were made to be Bella's owner.
Right.
So you feel betrayed that she might be with someone else.
Yeah, and I mean, I just don't. Yeah, yeah, I feel betrayed because I don't want her to. I don't want anybody to take what was made for me. And she's mine. I've been with her since she was born, and I mean, well, not really since she was born. A couple days or whatnot after she was born and stuff like that. My mom brought her home. So after that, like, the attachment, we just really got really close and attached really easily or whatnot. She was like a little baby. All she did was sleep all day. So, I mean, I just sort of kind of really just fell in love and just got attached. And I was like, this is my dog. So it's just like, just seeing her, the thought of seeing her with somebody else or just seeing her in the arms of somebody else, it just sort of kind of, it doesn't sit well with me at all.
And we talked about how you're worried, and like that is also, you're worried that she's with someone else. So do you think that that also feeds into the betrayal?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like Bella betrayed me. I feel like I'm more so betrayed her because I'm the one who left her. And I just feel like, if I'll be angry at anybody, I'll be angry at myself and the person that I feel like, took her. Because I feel like she has a collar on her neck. So I feel like, they know that she belongs to somebody. And I feel like, if nobody's seen her around the neighborhood, then that's the only thing that's really safe to assume that somebody picked her up because I mean somebody would have seen a little cute little teacup dog walking around. Somebody would have seen it.
Do you think that the person who might have Bella is not taking as good care of them as you would?
That didn't even really cross my mind. I just sort of kind of I just been more so worried about if she's okay. Like I mean, I really don't even want to imagine the thought of somebody else taking care of her, even though they probably are helping me out because I mean it's better than I guess her being on the street. But at the same time, it's just like I feel like nobody can give Bella, the love that we gave her and stuff like that. And I mean she's already mine, so I just feel like yeah,
You feel lost without her.
yeah,
And that's very relatable. I can relate to that.
yeah.
So you talk about, your mother bringing Bella home, and you form this emotional connection with Bella and how it's great and everything. So how's your relationship with your mother?
Well, my relationship with my mother, we have a good relationship. She's not really as expressive as I would like her to be, but I mean, we communicate well. I mean, we just have a typical mother-daughter relationship, I guess. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with our relationship.
So you feel like it's steady?
Yeah, it's pretty steady. It's pretty good. Yeah. I just feel like, she can't really relate to me in this type of situation because it's like I have already grown so attached to the dog to the point where it's just like she doesn't have that attachment. So it's just like sometimes she'll be like, okay, well, it'll be okay, and we'll get another dog. And sometimes I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that type of support. I need stuff like, okay, we're gonna find the dog. Oh, this is what we're gonna do to, help find Bella, not replace Bella. That's not the support I need. I don't want to replace her. If I can't have her, I don't want another dog.
So have you tried explaining to your mom how you feel about Bella?
Well, my mom's not really, she's not really open as I would like her to be. Like, that's what I was saying. She's not really as expressive and open to her feelings like I am. So I really don't feel like I can approach her with it because I feel like she already said what she said. Like, she already knows the situation. She already knows how I'm feeling. So I feel like, explaining it to her, like, I mean, I don't feel like it'll make the problem worse or the situation worse, but I just feel like nothing will come about it. It's still going to be the same thing. She's going to still be her.
So you feel like a conversation about your feelings won't lead to anywhere?
I'm not going to say it won't lead anywhere. I just don't feel like it will lead far. We might get somewhere, but
she won't understand.
Yeah, she's not going to understand how I feel. Because, I mean, she just doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. I call Bella my child, and You know, I take care of her, I feed her, you know, I treat her like a little baby. So she doesn't understand why I treat a dog like a human. So we can't relate on that aspect.
And you discussed, you know, your communication lines seem to be pretty good with your mother. And so you also said that you don't think that communication about emotions would go very well. Do you think there's an alternative way to explain your feelings for Bella?
I feel like I have explained them for her, but I feel like she's more the problem. It's just like, I mean, she's just not open. She's just sort of kind of like closed, and I just feel like if I keep on talking about it and keep on talking about it, like I just feel like she's gonna eventually shut down. She's gonna shut me out, or she's gonna, you know, find a way to, you know, avoid the situation. So like if I just keep on worrying her about it or keep on talking about it and stuff like that. So I mean, I told her I was sad, and I told her I was upset and that I was hurt, that I was let down. I was actually mad at her because she's the one who wanted to go to church. I mean, well, yeah, she's the one who wanted to leave Bella in the yard. She thought that would be a bright idea to leave Bella in the yard and go to church. So I'm actually mad at her as well because I feel like if she would have did all that, then I feel like Bella wouldn't have been missing. So I'm just sort of kind of in between blaming myself and her because I feel like I could have chased her. But I mean, if I did that, then I would, you know, be disrespecting my mom because she told me to come, and I just feel like, you know, even though I think I did the right thing, I feel like I did the wrong thing.
So not only are you angry at yourself for leaving, you're angry at your mother for making you leave.
Right. And I feel like, you know, right now, like a week after we've been looking for her, you keep on talking about, okay, we'll replace her, you know, if she's not found. Like, I feel like it should be something more. Like, I feel like you should be like, okay, well, we're going to find the dog. I feel like, you know, just be more optimistic about it. Like, I understand you're being realistic about the situation. Like, okay, if we can't find her, here's an alternative to the solution. But, I mean, that's not necessarily what's going to make me feel good at this time. I really, you know, just need comforting, and I need confirmation that, you know, she's going to do everything she can to help me find her. And I feel like that will make me feel more at ease, knowing that I have that type of support from her versus the type of support she's trying to get to me.
Right. So you don't, while you said that you feel like you have some support, you don't have the type of support that you need.
Right.
So what kind of support do you think you would want besides your mother encouraging you that you're going to find Bella?
Well, I feel like I would need more emotional support. I feel like she's not really an emotional type of person. So I feel like it's hard to sort of kind of give me the emotional support that I need at this time, especially because, I mean, it's my dog, not her. So I feel like she never had that type of, well, I mean, she had a dog in the past, and she did, you know, consider it, was really close with it, but I don't feel like she is as adamant about loving Bella like I was.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You talk about how your mother's not very expressive in emotions. So were you able to relate your emotions better to Bella than you were to your mother?
Well, yeah, because I mean, Bella just sits there and she listens, and I mean, it's just sort of kind of like, even though I got her, I sort of kind of sense that she understands me. Like, she can sense when I'm upset, she can sense when I'm frustrated, and she'll just sort of kind of come in and comfort me. Even though she can't talk or say anything, it's just like her just being there, her just, you know, drawing close to me. I just feel like that's a connection that I don't even have with humans, you know? So it's just like to get this out of a dog, and a dog can sense, you know, when I'm sad or upset or angry and, you know, try to comfort me. That just makes me feel like, you know, I really lost something that I really can't get back.
So you feel like you don't have the emotional support that you once had.
Right. And I feel like, I mean, my mom, I feel like she's supportive, but I mean, yeah, I don't feel like I have the emotional support that I once had when I was with Bella, because I feel like she's the one that made me, she's the one that sort of kind of made me feel understood, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, I understand it's a dog, and, you know, how can a dog understand what you're saying? But, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, it just works like that. It's like, I feel like the dog understood me better than most humans understand me. And I feel like, she's not going to sit there and judge me. She's not going to sit there and look at me stupid for saying stuff. Or she's not going to, say mean things or get mad or do anything. Like, most of the times when I'm having bad days, like, if I, push Bella away and be like, I don't want to be bothered and stuff like that, like, she still loves me regardless. And it's like, you can't really beat that, because, I don't know. I guess you can get that from humans, but, I just never really felt that.
And you talked about how she was a part of you and that, you have this connection. And so it's definitely, I can definitely see in your face that it's very hard for you to discuss not having Bella with you.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard. And the more that I think about it, the more that I, start to lose hope about the situation. And I just sort of kind of feel like, okay, well, maybe this is what God wants. Because, I feel like I'm very faithful. Like, I'm a very faithful person. So I just feel like, if it's meant for me to have, God will make it a way.
Mm-hmm.
He will bring my dog home, but I feel like if it's not, then, I may not ever see her. I just feel like, I'm not ready to deal with that because I really don't know what's going to happen, what to expect. It's only been a week. People say, it's only been a week, give it some more time, give it some time for people to come and stuff like that. But, give it some time for, the dog to come back home and stuff like that, but, I really don't have much patience.
Mm-hmm.
And then, this is just really like a humbling experience because it was like, I really don't know. I'm just trying to stay sane in the midst of it all.
You talk about how you have a lot of faith.
Mm-hmm.
You use faith quite a bit. How is your church, the family supporting you?
Well, I really haven't told my church family. I just sort of kind of been trying to keep it between me and my mom and then people that are in the community and stuff like that because I feel like even though they would be supportive and helping me, I feel like, I just really don't want to burden the church because I feel like, church has so many problems that they already have to deal with and I feel like I'm coming to the church asking them, can they help me find my dog? I'm not, saying that they're not going to do it, but I feel like everybody doesn't understand the impact that animals have on people, or everybody don't understand, how you can really see a dog or animal as a companion. People don't understand that, so people may say, okay, it's a dog, okay, it's a loss, get over it, you can get another one. People don't see the seriousness of it, and I've heard people brush it off so many times to the point where it's just I feel like, it really has to be somebody that genuinely understands, somebody that sees their animal in the same way for them to understand, okay, what you're going through. Because they're not going to understand. They're going to say, okay, it's just a dog, it's just a bird, it's just an animal, it's just this, it's just that. But they don't understand the impact that they have on you.
So you don't think that you could get the same emotional support from your church family?
I feel like I could, but I feel like they wouldn't really truly understand. Because, I know my pastor will. I know that he's not a animal lover. He doesn't really have animals and stuff like that. So I've been out visiting my pastor's house a few times as well, and it's just I feel like they're not that type of people I'm not gonna say they're not that type of people that would help me that wouldn't help me find Bella, but I'm just saying I just don't want to burden anybody else with that because I feel like they're not gonna see it as a big deal like I see it as a big
So you
deal.
feel like no one understands you?
Right.
Is the main issue here. You don't feel like you've lost this part of you and no one can understand why you don't have her back.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you discussed any of these, have you thought about discussing any of this with your church family, how you feel about it and how you feel like you need support from them during this time?
Well, no, because I really just haven't went to them for support because I just assume that, they're not going to understand. So that's just something that I just really haven't just ventured off into or just felt like I needed to do because I just felt like, they're not going to see the seriousness of it. Because, I've told my friends and they laughed and they made jokes because I posted her on Instagram and they were laughing, and they were making jokes and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, well, y'all think this funny. These are my friends, so they think it's funny. So the church people, when I put up flyers and stuff like that, and I asked them to post pictures of Bella, they may think it's funny too.
So your friends, what they said was very hurtful for you.
Well, I mean, they were just laughing. They felt like I was being playful, because, I mean, we do have, like, a playful type of relationship. I guess they thought I was playing when I posted her, and I was like, I posted a flyer that I posted, and I posted on Instagram, and they thought it was funny. Even though I did have friends that was like, I understand, I hope you find your dog. They just feel like I was being funny when I posted it. So I just feel like they don't even take me seriously.
So I'm sensing a lot of you don't feel taken seriously.
Yeah.
You have issues with your mother not discussing your emotional connection with Bella, and you also feel like the church wouldn't take you seriously.
Right.
And in addition to that, your friends, when you posted your picture of Bella on Facebook and all the social media sites to try and find her, they didn't take you seriously as well.
Right.
So ultimately, you just have a large lack of support in finding Bella, and you feel like you just don't feel understood.
Yeah, I feel like I have support, but I feel like I do feel misunderstood. I feel like I do have their support, but I feel like they don't understand the seriousness of it, so they can't really they're not gonna be as serious about the issue as I am. Like, I'm just gonna, be driven to find her. I'm not gonna be trying to play any games. Like, I'm not gonna be doing any of that. I'm more serious. Like, I'm literally focused on just finding the dog and just getting her back home.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they're supportive, but at the same time, they're trying to make it less serious than what it is. And I don't like that, because it's just like, even though I know y'all trying to make me feel better, it's actually making me feel worse.
Mm-hmm. And when you say making you feel worse, is it just contributing to your sadness and your anger?
Yes, it's making me feel worse. Like, they're not helping the situation, they're making the situation worse, because it's like, y'all really don't understand. Y'all don't understand, like, okay, how serious I am. And it's just like, I know that we play a lot, but I mean, y'all can't even put that aside for a serious issue. Which basically shows that, I mean, people don't take animals seriously. Because I feel like if I would have said my grandmother, or something was going on with my grandmother, or something was going on with somebody else in my family, I'll get a whole different reaction. People wouldn't be joking. People would be more serious. And I feel like people don't do that with animals. They feel like, okay, it's just an animal, it's just a dog. It's like, why do people treat their animals like humans? But they don't understand, like, the impact that these animals really have in our lives. So I just feel like they just can't relate. And because they can't relate, they just sort of they don't know how to support me in the way that I need to be supported, because they don't understand.
And what would happen if you found Bella?
If I found Bella, I would be so happy. Like, I just can't even explain the feeling, because I don't even know what I would do. Like, I just feel like God gave me a second chance again. I'm on.
So you see that you have a connection. You're Bella's mother.
Yeah, that's
you
my
feel
baby.
like Bella's mother.
Yeah, that's my child.
And so with this loss of Bella, you feel like you lost a child.
Right.
Essentially, and you lost part of you, and you're not receiving the type of support that you would really need during this period. You don't feel like you feel like you have support, you don't have the right type of support.
Right.
With your mother and with the church and with your friends, and you just feel like you aren't being taken seriously, and Bella isn't being taken seriously.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything that you think that you could do to increase the likelihood of finding Bella?
I feel like I did everything that I possibly could. Like, I literally went from door to door. Like, who does that? Go from door to door to door, every person's door, and I knocked on it. Literally, I took almost like a whole day doing that. Literally. So, I mean, I did that. I've been posting flyers literally around my whole entire neighborhood and outside neighborhoods and just areas around, because I feel like she couldn't have got too far. And I mean, I just sort of kind of been spreading the word through social media. I don't feel like, I mean, if there is something that I can do, I really just don't know what I could do because I feel like I've tried to do everything I could to get her back.